Next topic, we need to talk about Ed Reed. Ed Reed, about a month ago, accepted a job to become the coach of Bethune Cookman, the head football coach of Bethune Cookman. Now, apparently he went on a rant on his media post. And he talked about how the coaching offices were not clean. He discussed about, the football players outside cleaning up the place. Apparently he hasn't been signed. His contract hasn't gone through his head coach yet. So business-wise, okay, let me go business-wise. Most times when someone is being hired as coach, it does take time for the board. Sometimes now, the board has to approve the hiring of the coach. And the board also has to approve certain boards, when it comes to the states, they have to approve the hiring of the assistant coaches, how much that they're getting paid. It sometimes depend on, how everything is set up from looking at other coaches. They might have not had all the money, had to go raise the rest of his money, just like they did in Colorado. That's most schools might not have the money to pay the coaches out. That's just what it is, But back to Hall of Famer Ed Reed, and he was like, Deion was right about the facilities and about the lack of funding and the lack of things that's going on. Here is just my thoughts about this situation with Ed Reed. And some people have been hollering. Some people have been hollering saying, "Well, why did you sign why you ain't on contract? So why you cleaning? Why, why didn't you go to the facility first?" If you know business, most college coaches, I'll take it back to like Brian Kelly, or we can even look at it as Coach Prime. They didn't look at the facilities of the new location until after they agreed to be hired. And they came down for the press conference. And they were on tour looking around at the different facilities. That's just how the business works. It's like, hey, either you're going to yay or nay to it. Well, can I go look at the facility? They don't have time. AD is trying to, fill, things out for like the roster, early signing period, all this good stuff. But let me give you my thoughts on Ed Reed in this situation with HBCUs, because I went to an HBCU. We don't like to be called out about our stuff. The Black institutions, it is what it is. It is behind. Ed Reed came from coaching at University of Miami, 5-star, top of the line. How should we say this? Sometimes to bring the best out of people, businesses and organizations, you need critics. You need critics. Deion said it in a graceful way. And part of the reason why Deion knew how to scope and say those words is because, he had been, when he retired, he went right to media. He worked at CBS with the NFL Network, had good relations with other business people, and has been critiqued in that area. I don't know much about Ed Reed and what he has done since his retirement. I know he coached football and worked with young people, so I don't know his connects like that. Like Deion, was well connected in Deion is well connected in all facets of entertainment. Deion is a household name. When you say Deion, you say Kobe, you say Jordan, you say LeBron, you say A-Rod, that Deion name pops in people's households. Ed Reed, Hall of Fame, but his name doesn't pop like that. But he was giving a critique as to what he's reporting, what he's seeing. And he spoke out of his frustration. He came back and did apologize about it. And some things need to be called out to the carpet. And sometimes the administration and the board keeps doing the same stuff over and over again. That's why at certain schools, presidents are usually in and out in 2 years. The HBCU I went to, man, they went through in the time I was at the HBCU I went to, they went through like 4 presidents. President try to bring change. They go up to the board, don't like it. And then they find, oh, he got to go. He got to go. She got to go. No. We not. They got to go. I don't like them. I don't like the attitude. And what has happened is the other PWIs, private schools, they have surpassed these particular schools. Dion gave us, Coach Prime gave you all a blueprint on what to do and how to market and how to change the game up if you want some of the best athletes to come to HBCU schools. There's 107 of them. It's just not, now let me educate y'all, it's just not the SWAC and the MEAC. It's these other smaller tier schools as well. You got the players washing the uniforms after the game. You have you don't have athletic trainers on the sidelines if somebody injures themselves. That's why Master P's son left Tennessee State, because he wasn't being treated right for his foot. For he had I think an ankle injury or something, knee injury, and it wasn't being treated right, and he had to Master P's son ended up leaving Tennessee State. Another athlete who was McDonald's All-American, I can't think of the played at Howard, and he only played 7 games. But they didn't have the facilities to treat that. So we need to go back and find out, okay, where's this money going to the athletics? What's going on? Because you're playing all these money games to get money for your athletic department. Okay, how is the money being distributed? When there's checks written out, are we writing the check out to Howard University? Or are we writing the check out to Howard University Athletic Department? Or are we writing the check out to the Howard University football team? And if we're doing, I need to see where my dollars are going. And I also need this stuff to be improved. See, what has happened is I believe, this is just my thought, I believe that we have taken and not poured back into our students because we have a poor mentality. And when that was said, I felt every bone in my body felt that, because it is true. Most of us have a poor mindset when it comes to money. And that is not just a mental thing, that is a spiritual thing as well. You know how I know? Because I went to that school and I had that mindset. And I'm working every day to get better, to be set free from that mindset. And we as Black people, business owners, entrepreneurs, we have to get out of that mindset of a broke mentality. And everything Ed Reed said. Now, Ed Reed might have, came hood with it and said what he said. He's like, hey, this is some BS. But Ed Reed meant I ain't got nothing wrong with Ed Reed. Now, could he have said a little bit different? Yeah, he could have been a little bit classier. And sometimes you don't have to get on social media and tell what's going on. But he got bucked with somebody who made some comments. He told you how he felt and he let it rip. But overall, he's giving a critique of what he sees. And many times, anytime somebody come out and say that, he cares about this. He wants to coach. I believe he wouldn't be out there saying this. He wouldn't have accepted the job if he didn't want to be there. And he wants to be there to make a difference, to make an impact, until it's time for him to move on. Because I don't believe Ed Reed's going to be there forever. Contrary to belief, he's not going to be there forever. But Ed Reed wants to make a difference. And you got to have the resources to do that. Ed Reed probably ain't got the connects like Coach Prime do, to bring some people down to get the boys suits and fix the football. Man, he ain't got it. He might not have it like that. He might not have the personality to do that. That might not be him. And we talk about, there's this, a lot of people pushing to HBCUs because of the shooting of George Floyd, and everybody, hey, let's go to HBCU because, white folk don't care about us. But is the HBCUs ready for the influx of students to come in there? And you got busted up facilities. You in classes with 40 people, and you sitting up there like sardines in 100-degree weather in a hot room, and you all squished in like this, and you can barely breathe in the classroom because of facilities. Yeah, you have, yeah, states funding can be cut, but you also have other things called alumni who fund stuff. You have endowments, you have all this type of stuff. This is the business side of it. And I don't think we're not fully educated when it comes to business, and we don't understand business. Part of the, I think number one we need to do is break the spirit of poverty off the Black community. That's the biggest thing. Then when we're doing that, and as we're breaking the spirit of that, you break it when you go read books about business, when you understand about financial literacy. It's gonna take some man. You got to work on that. We as Black people have to work on that.